What is going on, everybody? I am the FDGURU, bringing to you guys a Tuesday MLB edition of my DFS podcast. I am doing a Guru credit code in this video. I figured I'd do a little bit of a giveaway for my website for all you guys, seeing that we have a really nice lineup of MLB games today, so I'm pretty excited about that. I'll give you that code after the first couple of my plays. All I ask in return is you like the video, maybe like the tweet of the video, maybe retweet, subscribe, all that, free stuff, just to help support me. Not mandatory, but I really do appreciate it either way. Let's have a great day today. The GPP lineup did well yesterday. Unfortunately, that was the only thing that did well, even with the Fitzgerald and Chapman home runs on the Giants. We still, struggled a little bit because they were very high owned, and we didn't really separate from the field with those Giants players because, Patrick Corbin just feeds DFS families. Every time he pitches, you almost got to pick the other team no matter who it is. But we have a really nice looking 11-game main slate tonight. We have 4 games in the early wave at 6:40 and 4 games in the after hours. I thought it was 4 games, but I'm seeing here that it's 8:40 for that Rockies game. Let me double check the after hours slate. I looked at it when I first woke up, and I'm not always with it when I wake up. Okay, the after hours slate is 3 games. My bad. The Oakland and beyond there is the after hours slate. So plenty of stuff here today. Doing a Guru credit code, like I said. We'll talk about pitchers. And we'll talk about 2 infield and 2 outfield value plays for today. We are knocking on the door of the NFL season now, under a month away. So if you're looking to get with me, the best thing you can do is get a part of the early bird deals. You don't want to be buying memberships, on September 5th, like on opening day of NFL. You can save a ton of money by DMing me for early discounts. So for pitcher, we have a lot of good pitchers today. Actually, before I get into pitchers, we have 2 rain games. One of them is in the early slate. Arizona at Cleveland looks like a dicey game for rain. And then the worst looking game today, and the only game on the main slate we got to worry about, is the Angels at Yankees. Yankees are minus 300 favorites. So for right now, I'm going to leave that game out of this video. But if we get word on radar checks, later on that the Yankees game is fine and doesn't have a, worry of a cancellation, then the Yankees are going to be a great stack with a 9 over-under in a minus 300 favorite. But we're going to leave that game out of this. Everywhere else looks pretty good to go. The Minnesota and Chicago game at Wrigley has a 20-mile-per-hour wind blowing in. And in result, we have seen the over-under shift from 5.5 to 6 throughout the day, back and forth, which is the lowest over-under I have seen on, this season. Pablo Lopez against Imanaga, 2 great pitchers, 20-mile-per-hour winds blowing in. I'm not surprised to see such a low over-under, but we'll talk about that. For pitcher, though, Sonny Gray is the most expensive guy tonight, and he looks fine against the Rays. The Rays have, struck out a lot this year. He's looked great, averaging 37 fantasy points, 10,400. That's a fair price. It's not, too expensive, but it's also not cheap. If you wanted to go to him, go for it. He's a minus 160 favorite. Only a 7.5 over under. Jeffrey Springs for the Rays is making his second start since his injury, since coming back. I love Jeffrey Springs. He was electric last year. The league is better when he's in and healthy. He's kind of like a Shane McClanahan, who we've been, we've got our entertainment ripped out from him being hurt. But Springs is still coming off of his injury, so we're not going to be picking him. It's just nice to see that he's back. But Sonny Gray looks good. Grayson Rodriguez, not really catching my eye at that price in Toronto. Lucas Gill has rain issues, as I was saying earlier. Pablo Lopez, one of the best guys to pick tonight, as I mentioned, with the wind. 20-mile-per-hour winds blowing in. So he looks great. 10,000 is a pretty high price, but for good reason. He's been pitching really well as of late over his last 3 games. Don't mind Lopez. Seth Lugo doesn't look terrible. The Royals and Red Sox had winds blowing out yesterday. Today they have winds blowing in, so we only see an 8.5 over/under, 10 mile per hour winds blowing in. I ended up taking the alternate total in that game yesterday as part of my 3-leg parlay on my dub club. That cashed in. Our parlays have been really good this year. Again, all non-main slates. So early today, the 4-game early, the 3-game after hours, parlays, other props. I put a prize picks on my dub club yesterday. It cashed. You can get all of it. Tons of extra content with the link below, a free trial. And the great thing about that is when NFL gets going, I'll be providing content for that, and the prices won't change. So it's great extra content that I enjoy doing. Definitely give that a look. But the next best guy is Luis Castillo. I actually think Castillo is the best out of the bunch. 7 over/under, almost a minus 200 favorite, projected for the most fantasy points on the slate at $9,700. He looks great. He'll be in my cash lineup, maybe my hybrid as well. I'm either going to run 2 or 3 pitchers across my 3 FanDuel lineups tonight. Luis Castillo will definitely be on one of them, maybe 2. And then the last guy I'm looking at is Imanaga, just because of the wind. Him and Pablo Lopez in this game look great. They shouldn't give up much. A lot of usual home runs will be flyouts tonight, so you can't go wrong with Imanaga, and you can't go wrong with Pablo Lopez. Imanaga is the cheapest of the bunch. He started out the season so hot. He's had some faulty starts, but overall, he has looked really good in his rookie season. 3.09 ERA. Imanaga looks fine to me as well. So we have 4 great pitchers to look at. They are all expensive. We're going to have to find some cheap bats. We have a Coors Field game tonight where the Mets look fantastic. So we have our work cut out for us because I don't really think it's a cheap pitcher kind of slate. In order, my favorite guys, Luis Castillo. I think for second, we have Pablo Lopez and Imanaga tied, and then Sonny Gray as well as fourth, just because he's the most expensive. Again, in terms of cheap guys, I can't really trust anyone. No one looks great down here for good reason. If you know anything about the MLB, I don't really have to say much here. All these cheap guys, no one stands out. So it looks like we're going to be spending $9,400 and above on pitcher tonight, which is fine. We're going to have to find some cheap bats. 2 infield, 2 outfield plays. This isn't a good segue for cheap bats because the first play is Pete Alonso. I'm going to make it a priority to get him in my lineups tonight at $3,900. The first thing I did when I opened up FanDuel today was to make sure that they didn't fuck up because it's a first game of a Coors Field series, and sometimes they forget to ramp up the salaries of these guys at Coors Field. They did not forget tonight. All the Mets guys are priced up, which honestly I like better because now they're not like must plays. 11.5 over/under. Mets are minus 150 favorites. Just on a slate where there's not a ton of high over/unders and not a ton of great hitting spots because we have a decent amount of pitching out there. It makes Coors Field more of a priority and spending up on him. I like Pete Alonso. I thought he was going to be over 4K, 3,900 righty-lefty matchup. He has the best chance to home run tonight over any other player in the MLB. So at 3,900, I can definitely stomach that. Don't mind Alonso. He is the most expensive guy in this video for my hitters. Second play, again, these are all dependent on confirmed lineups, but the Mariners are a good team to stack tonight at home. It is only a 7 over/under, but it is a minus 200 favorite, so they are expected to score runs. Right now, Jorge Polanco is slated to hit cleanup. We'll have to wait and see on the lineup, but if he's hitting anywhere in the top 5 of this lineup, he's going to look really good at 2,700. We have Kaider Montero of the Tigers on the mound, who has been really bad. A 6.18 ERA. Actually pitched 7 innings against the Royals. That's pretty impressive, but nonetheless, when you look at his game log, he gives it up. He's giving up, 5, 6, 7 hits a game. Seattle should be able to hit him, and I do think Polanco, along with a lot of these Mariners, are going to be good value plays. Rosarena isn't in this video, but he is 3,100. That's a good value. I don't know how much Cal Raleigh is. 3,100, not a bad value. Again, it is only a 7 over/under, but we don't have a ton of great spots tonight. So if we can save some money so we can look at the Mets at Coors Field, I'm going to be looking at the Mariners to save some salary. For that Guru credit code, go to my website, fd-guru.com. I mentioned my Dub Club offers all non-main slate lineups, but my bread and butter, where I offer the most content, is main slate lineups, and that's where you get them on my website. I offer 5 different lineups for the main slate throughout FanDuel and DraftKings. 3 FanDuel lineups, hybrid cash, GBP, and 2 DraftKings cash and GBP. So obviously do the most here for the main slate, and that's what my website is for, outside of the NFL, where I offer way more than the main slate on my website. But you can get that. You got to be signed in. That Guru credit code, just hit the shop tab on my website. This is where you buy all your usual credits. These credits are the universal currency that you spend on memberships and lineups for my website. This little barcode here, type in the day, Tuesday, and then the number 86 for August 6th, Tuesday 86, and you'll get 10 free credits added to your balance. Again, just like this video, subscribe. Love that you guys, support me. I try to do as many giveaways as possible, and as we get closer to NFL, and when I start thinking about that NFL Week 1 video, I will be doing huge giveaways. If you remember me doing it last year, I did plenty of giveaways because you guys really supported my NFL videos. So I'm excited for that. But again, just like this video and put my alerts on. For the outfield, we're going to go to another surprising spot. I liked them last night. They didn't really disappoint. We're going to go to them again tonight. They look like the second best team to stack tonight outside of the Coors Field game, and that's the Oakland Athletics. Tells you how bad the Chicago White Sox are. Even the Athletics look good when they face them. Even in Oakland, which is a pitcher's ballpark, we see an 8.5 over-under, and the Athletics are minus 190 favorites. I mean, how bad do the White Sox have to be for the Athletics to be minus 190 favorites with fucking Ross Stripling on the mound for them? I mean, we're seeing some of the worst stuff we've ever seen out of any team. Now 21 games lost in a row, probably going to be 22 after tonight, and we have some great value for the Athletics. Lawrence Butler might be my favorite play on the entire slate at 3K. He got the night off last night because they were facing a lefty. Now we have a righty and Jonathan Cannon back on the mound. 1-5 record, 4.1 ERA. Butler has been crushing as of late as the leadoff hitter. He actually pinch hit last night and hit a home run. But this guy's hot. He can steal bases. He hits for power. He looks like a pretty promising young guy for this Athletics team. 3K looks like a great price for him. Lefty-righty matchup. Sign me up for Lawrence Butler. And then JJ Bleday looks great too. 2,600 as long as he's batting third, which he should. Righty-lefty or lefty-righty matchup. He's not having a bad year either. He doesn't always play. He only plays against righties. Kind of in a great rhythm here. He's on a 8-game hitting streak or 7-game hitting streak. And he can hit homers. I like him. If you're, targeting this Athletics team like you should be tonight, everyone looks good. Obviously, the only non-value play is Brent Rooker because he's expensive. But if you wanted to pick him, he could, hit a home run at any moment. Miguel Andujar, a blast from the past with the Yankees, is somehow batting second and, making this team successful. So we have some good value in the Athletics. We have some good value in the Mariners. Obviously, our priority tonight are the Mets at Coors Field. And our priority is spending up at pitcher. Just a little sum up of what I've talked about in this video. But feel good about tonight. Obviously, things can change with confirmed lineups, but I appreciate you guys for stopping by. Again, like the video, subscribe. I'll see you all tomorrow. Until next time, I am the FD Guru. Peace.